Maybe if you're in the top 10 in FedEx Cup points, you're safe from the bottom 5.
Golf is allowed to be a real sport. It is allowed to be a real sport. We're fans of other sports. Teams get eliminated from tournaments earlier than we want them to all the time. All the time. March Madness, the World Cup, the playoffs of whatever league you choose for. Golf gets to like walk this line, you know? They get to like live in this gray area. And you said it, like the FedEx Cup is such shit.
Pat Mayo Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by Underdog, the BMW Championship Picks, Bets, One and Done. Recap of Memphis, recap of Denmark as well, because I actually watched way more of that on Sunday than I watched the St.Jude. Geoff, I think that the St.Jude, if all things being equal, should be the lowest rated golf tournament of the year. It won't be, but it was the worst final round I can remember. I tuned in on hole 3 because I was away at my dad's farm for a family summer reunion type of thing with all the family there. And my 90-year-old grandma wanted to turn on the golf, so we did. And it was on hole 3, and Burns went in the water. And then Scottie also made bogey. Burns made double bogey. I was like, oh, this is basically it. Scottie's going to bounce back and run away, and he bounced back, and then he ran away. It was unwatchable.
I don't have a counter to it being unwatchable. Our long national nightmare is almost over, though. It is almost over. The FedEx Cup in its totality. The reason we are in Memphis in August to start our playoffs is simply a money game. A FedEx is, that is their base. They pay to put their name on this thing. We're 20 years into this stupid sucker. And instead of like what is for the greater good for the players, maybe fans, no, our financial lords say we go to Memphis in August. So, shoot it to the sun. No pun intended. One more, maybe one more.
Maybe. I'm good. I love this course. I like this venue. Just move it to June like it used to be.
Simple. Easy fix. There it is. As we know, FedEx in their agreement with the tour is on life support. It is not much of a secret that FedEx intends to be moving on. A lot of players benefited from this thing. More players will continue to benefit from it in the future. But yeah, I don't know. Blow it up. It'll be interesting to see, what sort of title sponsor or what becomes of it in the future. But I don't know. I can't even I'm complaining, but like you, I didn't really watch anything. I was enjoying one of the final weekends of the summer. I had my kids, my wife was away. So the last thing that did it for me was this golf tournament.
I watched a bunch of the early coverage of it on Friday, on Saturday. I was trying to sweat out a first round leader, so I watched a bunch of Thursday. It's a good tournament, but I think a lot of it just boils down to there's literally no stakes to these playoffs. One guy moved into the top 50. Sung Jae got in, and poor Keith Mitchell. Did you see what happened to him on 18?
Yeah, they showed.
He missed the playoffs by 6 FedEx Cup points. If he just doesn't hit it, it doesn't go into the water, so he has to play it from the water, and then he hits it into the water. He just doesn't hit it into the water. He's got his signature status locked up for next year.
Yeah, that's a shame. That sucks. That is the fascinating element of it, Pat, is that, I saw a incredible interview with Brian Harman. Even if I'm not watching the golf, I'm watching the interviews. I think the YouTube channel I use, like Golf 10 or 10 Golf. I don't know. They're so good. It might have been on Friday or Saturday. And he was a bubble boy, asked about being on the bubble, and obviously acknowledged it's a different feeling to have. But, he made a point that is obvious, but it is, nice to hear it verbalized in that everyone is on the bubble. Everyone is on some sort of bubble. Be it 30, 50, 70, 100, guys who we think, making a team, wanting to, Rory's bubble was like, I guess, having to win a Masters. Everyone is on some sort of bubble. And that is, what makes golf beautiful in some respects. So that part of it is enjoyable. And the broadcast seemed like more aware in trying to tell those stories. Obviously that led to, like, I heard a ton of Spieth and Mitchell coverage, but what are you going to do? That's part of it, especially when Scottie's winning by a touchdown.
Oh, I like that part of the coverage. I just feel like there are people playing for top 30, top 50, whatever that might be. And there's different ways that we can go about that. But I feel like if you come bottom 5 in the first tournament, that you automatically get kicked out.
Done. And this is the sort of thing, the football guy's going to fix this.
He better, because, and look, if it happened this time around, Bobby Mack WDs because he shot plus 12 in the first round. Now he has a knee injury. He's fine to play this week, though. He's still listed in the field. And then if you go down to the bottom, you got Akshay, Theegala, Rory, and Rai. Now, the tour would push back and be like, well, we're not going to relegate Rory. So what are we going to do here? But maybe if you're in the top 10 in FedEx Cup points, you're safe from the bottom 5.
Golf is allowed to be a real sport. It is allowed to be a real sport. We're fans of other sports. Teams get eliminated from tournaments earlier than we want them to all the time. All the time. March Madness, the World Cup, the playoffs of whatever league you choose for. Golf gets to walk this line, They get to live in this gray area. And you said it, the FedEx Cup, it's such shit. It is such shit. And it is one of my tour de force takes all time was when LIV started for all it's going to be contentious. Why did I know LIV was going to suck? Because the FedEx Cup sucks. The FedEx Cup, 20 years in the running, big money, great fields. Better fields than LIV would ever have. It, let alone getting the consciousness of the American sports fan. It is a fucking pimple on the ass of the American golf fan. The American golf fan didn't even accept it. How the hell are casual sports fans going to accept it if your hardcore golf buddy won't accept it? It's so simple. It's just been, it was, people LIV, it's new, it's different. Literally, it wasn't new. It wasn't different. Cash grabs for loads of money, zero stake golf. People on courses really no one gives a shit about. Don't move any needle. And at its core, that's what LIV golf was. And it took golf at 20. Listen, FedEx wants to pay those goddamn bills. The PGA Tour was gonna just fucking be under the trough, sucking just the hose, the water hose. We'll take it. But it's done. It lived way too long a life. We finally see an end, but there's no secret why it never, even with the amount of these things Tiger won, the amount of these things Rory won, it still never moved. There was an era. Do you remember the era? It was obviously in the Rory decade of no major wins, where Rory made a push to have this thing be more important, a verbal push, because he realized it would be good for his legacy.
Yes.
Because if this thing exists in 50 years, there's this guy that won I don't know what the number is.
I think he won 3. I think he has 3 FedEx Cup titles.
I think more.
It might be. It might be more. Let's see. He has 1, 2. No, he has 3.
Okay. Well, maybe that was when he was trying to build. He hasn't won one in a few years then. But Tiger might have 6 of them?
No, Tiger only has 2.
Oh.
Because when Tiger won in 2018, that's when the entire thing got blown up because he won at Eastlake, but Justin Rose won the FedEx Cup.
Well, that was another thing. I didn't like that switch either. It's golf fans were smart enough to know that a season-long scoreboard and a week of tournament are 2 different things. And, we could figure it out. The NASCAR fan can figure it out. So,
well, it's that We have 4 playoff events anyway. They're called majors. And then we have another one called the Players. That's more important than this. Like, eventually it gets so, and this time of year, like, sports is dead right now. Like,
but isn't that like where you could capitalize?
No, because it's actually, no one wants sports right now. It is your break from sports.
So, like, to your point where in like a month, everyone is home Sunday at like 4 o'clock. Right now, no one is home Sunday at 4 o'clock.
I would say yes.
Like, that is, I get when you say no one wants sports, that is why. But it is the dead time. It is.
Well, you have so golf by itself can't stand alone against anything else. It's great when there's nothing else on opposing, and I bet you the ratings will reflect that. The ratings will be fine for the final round of the St. Jude. Do you know what the lowest rated final round was of the year? I saw Josh Carpenter released all of the metrics. Shocking, really, because I was enthralled by it.
Now it's like a trick. I don't know.
It's a Scottish, which
time, yeah, I get that. Just doesn't coincide with like dinner time.
Correct.
And people being home, wrapping up their weekend. I know in the summertime, late nights are longer. We're out later, outdoors. But there's still a lot of people out having dinner at 5:45.
Yeah,
with the TV on.
I don't know what the actual breakdown is, but if you took a look at presumably when people go on the most long weekends or vacations and they use that extra vacation day, they're not using it November 7th. They're using it August 20th.
The smartest, or I guess the most popular league in the world, has identified that like 4:30 on Sunday is actually their greatest TV slot. And as hardos, we're upset at the like lack of the slates, how it's like a 8-2, but that's only going to be more common. And if anything, they want to literally turn those into a single game slate. I don't think it's possible, but yeah, I mean, those are essentially as big as it gets for that Sunday at 4 o'clock.
But the biggest difference here is, like, if you ran the Masters, US Open, and British Open back to back weeks in August, it would do fine. It means something to win those tournaments. The only thing that matters about the FedEx Cup, the only thing that has ever mattered about the FedEx Cup, is that guys get paid a lot at the end, and fans don't really care about that.
Yeah, rich guys
when you bring it back
richer.
When you bring it back to LIV, that's also, it's like, yeah, great. Bryson gets paid $500 million. Great. Why do I care? That's great for him.
It's just really rich and accomplished guys making more money. Now, of course, we would glom onto a story of some like total journeyman or some like super young guy making a run through, a guy that is now like, this is his, I guess, like leveling up, life-changing.
Yeah, like the best thing that could have happened here was Koiven won this weekend, and then Koiven goes on this run to try to win the FedEx Cup, because that feels like a real story. But with the way that the playoffs are structured, they get rid of those guys immediately.
And it would be fun. You set people up to go on runs, but that also sets people up to get home early. That obviously the networks are paying for and they want on TV. And the biggest sucker here is whoever paid a premium rate to show these sorts of things, because as you acknowledge, we have the majors, we have the Players, Memorial, Bay Hill,
Riv,
the Genesis. They're also worth more than this. They're also worth more. So what are we talking about? Part of like my heart on for the MOrikawa thing is like, buddy, you blew like the 8th most important tournament of the year and you didn't even play bad. Like, you should have just sucked it up and spoke.
Well, Collin MOrikawa, we've recorded the Custies. They come out not next Monday, because we'll do Eastlake next Monday, but the Monday after will be the Custy Awards, if you're on the lookout for that. Oh, thing that I need to tell people. If you are in the Halifax area and you are watching this show and you have Friday off, we need one lucky person, and you'll get paid to do it too, to come out to the golf course, because we need an extra cameraman for me, Geoff, you, and Cust, and someone else playing. We're recording another episode of our YouTube golf, and we need one more pair of hands around to hold a camera the entire time. Jared, you can tell people what to do, right? So we have all the equipment ready for you, but we need one extra person. I've exhausted everyone I know. Turns out they all have jobs and are not taking Friday off just to help me out. But if you are out there Want to meet everyone? There's pay, there's beers, there's dinner afterwards. It'll be a great time. You just need to be available from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. Hit up Mayo Media Inc. at gmail.com. Message me on Instagram at the PME. Whatever it might be. If you are available, you let me know, okay? Or else we're just down one camera, Jeff. And I don't want to be down one camera. Imagine Cust. Hey, Cust, hold this camera. What do you think you'd get footage out of that?
His feet.
Yeah. the really close selfie because he doesn't realize it's the wrong way.
Oh, yes. His chin.
Jared said he cut the first 2 holes of the Me Custom Pizzola one, and they're pretty funny.
Good. I'm, I'm going through it right now, but,
Are you excited, Jeff?
Let's just say the full throttle of the full range throttle of emotions, feelings, Jared. Because the game is not, I had my summer peak and then I, hurt myself, took a little time off, and I'm having a hard time finding that peak again. And I'll be honest, full disclosure, I grinded hard to find it. Grinding, and maybe that's the bad strategy. Maybe it's a bad strategy. But at this point in time, I'm planning on grinding tomorrow night a bit too.
I did the same. I did the same thing, and I basically gave myself tennis elbow again. So I got to go to the.
But here's my problem.
I got to go to physio tonight to get that dealt with.
We're now at the point where, after a couple days, I'll feel fine. If this next grind doesn't go well, the fear of God is going to be it.
We were playing a scramble, so it's not that big of a deal.
I don't care.
As evidenced by Jared just has a bunch of clips of Cust shanking wedges and looking for balls in the woods.
Listen, I'll cameraman could just have me, speaking of shanking wedges. Yeah. Hit it off the toe. Okay. Well, toe deep right. Okay, it's fine.
Mayo Media Inc. at gmail.com or hit me up on Instagram at the PME. Did you know there's a version of your home that you haven't even lived in yet, where the rooms actually feel finished, and more importantly, the sun isn't blasting you in the face at 6 in the morning? Blasting in the face at 6 in the morning. Don't know what you're up to, but the sun will get you. That's what it'll do. It'll wake you up for the day, and it'll be awful. Everyone's had those blinds that drive you insane. They're crooked, one side rolls up higher than the other, and you live with them for way longer than you should because replacing blinds feels like a hassle. Blinds.com actually makes it incredibly simple. You can customize your window coverings, get samples shipped to your door fast and free, and even add professional measurement and installation. They've covered more than 15 million windows over 30 years, so they know what they're doing. Right now, Blinds.com is giving my listeners an exclusive $50 off when you spend $500 or more. Just use code PATMAYO at checkout. Limited time offer, rules and restrictions apply. See Blinds.com for details. Summer grilling? Awesome. Off the charts good, 10 out of 10. Until you start cooking anything besides burgers and steaks or hot dogs, vegetables disappear through the grates. Fish sticks, well, they fall apart. That's for Cust. And sometimes cleanup takes longer than actually cooking the meal. That's why I've become obsessed with Hexclad Barbecue Collection. Their hybrid barbecue grilled pan gives you the searing power and smoky flavor you want from the grill, but with the non-stick convenience that makes fish, seafood, and vegetables way easier to cook, making me healthier too, because I'm eating more vegetables and fish now. The perforations still let the heat and smoke through without sacrificing half your dinner to the grill gods. Plus, cleanup, incredibly easy. There's a reason Gordon Ramsay uses Hexclad, and every Hexclad product comes with a lifetime warranty. For a limited time only, my listeners get 10% off with my exclusive link. Head to hexclad.com/mayo. Again, support this show and get 10% off at hexclad.com/mayo. Make sure to let them know that I sent you. Is there anything else from Memphis you want to talk about? The guys that I played golf with down there last year told me it was even hotter this year than it was last year, which is no fun. And it's a specific type of heat because I love the heat. This was not something that I was used to in terms of it being it was like 105 or something last year.
It's humid, right? It's not a heat that I wouldn't know this heat.
Yeah, it's like a very oppressive heat where I live on the ocean. Like, and it rarely gets that hot here. But even when I go and travel to places where it is that hot, generally speaking, it's near an ocean or a giant body of water that tends to regulate the humidity a little bit. Not there. I can see why people are sweating. They dropped me off at the press tent, and our filming was going on. Rick was there. Rick was driving out, and I was like, "Oh, I'll walk. I want to see some of the course." It was like 2 miles away. Huge property in Memphis at Southwind, and we were by the 14th hole, that par 3 over the water. It was like 2-mile walks. Yeah, I'll walk out there, meet you there. By the time I got there, I might as well have went swimming.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Adam Scott made some comments that it's like almost impossible for it not to affect your mental concentration. That's part of the, man versus man versus nature, man versus himself element that makes golf so beautiful. But the galleries are lifeless. Like, you hear a couple hoots and hollers, you assume they're coming from like corporate tents.
Well, there's a lot of people there, but I think people are just so fucking drained.
I bet. I don't, and then there's these I don't know. Someone released a tweet that like showed relative to other PGA events. Like I think they give away more tickets here than anywhere on tour.
Potentially.
Because it is almost impossible to get people to like pay money to come stand outside and watch grass grow.
In the sweltering heat.
Yeah. It just seems so unenjoyable. I saw a piece on like, obviously they do as much as they can for the players, the shaded, the cold towels at all the tee boxes. It just looks miserable.
Did you enjoy
it? Looks miserable. Shout out. I mean, we didn't even talk about it. Scottie, I think like for a Scottie bet, it was very popular. So, credit to everyone. 5, it's a win. A win is a win. Whether you're on fire or that's paying for a couple months or more worth of losses. Shout out to you. Good on everyone who hit it. But I don't even know, like the people that bet Scottie, and once he's up like a field goal, are you even watching?
Yeah, I don't think you think he's giving it back. It's not like it's Rahm chasing down MOrikawa at Kapalua with the 7-stroke lead and being like, well, maybe there's a chance this happens. And then it does happen. That rarely happens to Scottie. Yeah, we didn't really talk about Scottie just destroying the field. It made it incredibly boring. But in the Player of the Year case, now that he has the 2 wins, the 6 runners up, he gets another one of these, he's probably Player of the Year again. I mean, he is the best player this year. It's just he didn't have the wins to go along with it. But if he ends up with a 3rd win, it's his. None of the major winners did anything outside of the majors. Yeah, Wyndham Clark won the Bunny Ranch. Great. And maybe, I bet Wyndham Clark this week, so maybe he can win this week. Then he wins Player of the Year. That'd be great.
There's a conversation to be had, I guess. I'm separate. And this is like, again, when you say like everyone's on a bubble or everyone's playing to their own level of,
that's what you say.
Conversation. No, I'm like the conversation of everyone's on a bubble and everyone is almost like playing versus the elite players are playing versus like the monsters they've created. And by monster, I mean good thing, like the success they've created. It might be a crazy comment. And I don't even know that I feel this way, but I'm just thinking aloud. Does the years end and Rory sits back and he's like, what the heck, man? Like he picks the first one. It is so important, but it's back-to-back years where he wins that thing and he just can't carry it at all.
You use the right word. It's the care word. After he wins the Masters, does he care about the golf season? It seems like his entire last year and this year was completely centered around winning the Masters. And after he did, he was like, this is great. I'm sitting back now.
Okay, last year makes sense. It was like a total new normal. Like life as a Masters champion, the one thing you've been going after forever. And in defense of Rory, he has told us, like, I think the only thing I care now about is like the Olympics and obviously Ryder Cups. In terms of like, I need might be a strong word, but you know what I mean? That it's just, I don't know. I don't want to call it like a lost opportunity because you look at a guy like Scheffler who wins no majors and had Scheffler like won a major or, maybe it's crazy to say won 2, which was a thought. Just put yourself in your thought, not of now, but like in December, in January. We're then having conversations about Scheffler legitimately chasing like potential golfers. So I don't know. In my own mind, I'm just trying to think of like success and failures in their mind. I mean, they're all winners. And if you watch LIV, you know they're all life winners too on the PGA Tour, especially the guys that make the FedEx Cup. We got a bunch of life winners. Who would you say, Pat? Now that like LIV might winner? Be extinct, I think there's an obvious answer here.
Okay, hit me with the question.
Which player like absolutely should have gone to LIV the most that didn't? I think there's like a clear 1-1.
Cantlay.
No.
Okay.
Cantlay is still, he still like will be a top 30 player. He seems to care a lot about the tour and he's on like the board. Like that seemed, Cantlay's like an easy default answer.
Okay.
But as long as Cantlay like remains in all the Siggies for a few years, no.
Spieth.
No.
Did they play the last weekend?
No.
Oh, they're just out? I have no idea.
I don't even think it's close.
Jason Day.
No.
Finau.
Yes. When you consider
the assist.
When you consider the size of the family and the fact that he might lose a battle or is in some legal battle to have all his like life's earnings garnished because of some deal he made or his family made, I don't think, and where his game was at the start of LIV, and he was, you know, he wasn't like, he was an underachiever. Like he hadn't won anything big, but he had such like cachet and likability that he could have gotten not like a Rahm or like not like a deep, but he could have gotten like a huge deal. And in hindsight, it was probably the place for him.
So you think that he could have got like whatever Harold Varner got?
More?
Yeah,
I think a lot more than, because he was actually Varner was considered an all-around good guy, and he was to call Varner a face, he was known, but you know I liked Varner. Varner, great guy.
Varner was like the only black golfer on tour, basically.
Yeah,
who was known.
Yeah, so you know that adds like a level of cachet, and you know you're just distinguishable, for lack of a better term, I guess.
Well, I mean that's very helpful in golf, because if you lined up, you know, we know, but if you lined up Ben Griffin, Russell Henley, Patrick Cantlay, and Harris English all next to each other, most people will be like, same guy.
And there's a lot of time guys are putting and the camera's like from behind or from an angle, and you're not like listening. Golf's just on in the background. Maybe you're doing something, the volume's off, and you're like from the, the frame of the body, like, oh, I know who that is. And like, I'm right most of the time, but there's some time they pan around and like, not him. Okay.
But I think you're onto something. There is something about that and how we've seen the popularity, even being like just being slightly different in golf, takes you a whole lot farther in the minds of the fan. Like, I think Ricky is the prime example of this. Now, Ricky was good, obviously, but he was able to maintain that popularity during a really down stretch because he was a very distinguishable person on the course. When he turned on the TV, it's like, oh, there's Ricky Fowler.
Listen,
that's a good thing if you're a player.
There's a lot of different qualities, but like if you could be a high, they don't really exist anymore because fitness is like taken over and these guys are into fitness early. But the quality, like chubby golfer is so distinguishable. And yeah, you get like made fun of, like it comes with the territory. You get a glow up. Like, look at the glow up. They tried to give Beef.
Well, I think the more recent example is think about how many people know who Harry Higgs is.
Exactly. So yeah,
for no reason whatsoever.
For obvious reasons. Having, you wear one less button. It's the smallest little, yeah. So
if you're a professional golfer and you're watching, come to the PR firm of Mayo and Fienberg. We can get you a glow up. So if you're on TV, people will remember you.
Yeah, it's like, Pat will be like, what should we do with this guy? Oh, we could tell him to gain 30 pounds.
Now, it doesn't need even to be a look. Like, there was nothing just Jim Furyk looks like a bird, but his swing was so weird. You'd be like, oh, there's Jim Furyk.
Yeah, no. And then once, if you win, there's different levels. But back to my question, I think Finau is the clear, like, one 1-1. Because of the mouths to feed, and that operation doesn't seem to be closing shop. And the fact that, we've heard the stories for years that he could be in a real, I don't know, like the current status. There was an update like a year ago, but the last update we got is like he could be in a real one.
Yeah,
so
it's some sort of handshake deal that he made when he was young to go play, that he would give a percentage of his earnings to these businessmen. And then he was like, fuck y'all.
Yeah,
because there was nothing on paper, which probably means he's going to win.
Or also like the fuck y'all being like, my uncle agreed to something.
Yeah.
Like, you're not, the courts might not hold Tony to like a deal that, his second uncle may, I don't know. The details are out there. I'm now unfamiliar with them, and to see where the game has kind of gone. Because you can be marketable and still be like on posters. And there was a period last year where like Tony sucked, or he wasn't even getting into elevateds, but he was on like posters around events.
He was in the commercial for the FedEx Cup playoffs this year, and he didn't make it.
Oh, no, come on. That is just someone's got to be better at that in 2026.
I get that they were getting all this money from FedEx to have these playoffs. But honestly, do we need a playoff system? Can't we just end the year? Here's who won. Like, done.
So this
Scottie Scheffler won. He had the most points throughout the season. He's your winner. And maybe they used to have that tour championship that I think had like 40 people in it. And it was like one big blow off event. No cut, 40 guys, play for all the money. It's just one tournament. Make it match play. Come up with whatever situation that you want. But putting this over 3 events where so few guys, like there's not enough turnover. If there was more turnover, it would be more exciting.
Yes. But what is exciting about, like, by the time we get to Sunday, like, oh shit, we're going to lose Rory, but he's like 7 back of like getting in. So there's no like drama. I'm watching him chase it because it's that dead. But I do agree with your point. There is we need to have more changeover within the events for it to feel real.
And you can win exemptions through the first round. If you won a major, you're exempt through round 1. If you win the players, you're exempt through round 1. Hell, make that Riv Memorial Bay Hill as a part of that too. You win any of those tournaments, you don't even have to play in the first round if you don't want to. Now you should. But if we have some sort of relegation tier, like you're exempt from that. That's how you become exempt. That good play rewards that. If you have a bad week, you still get to go through, not just because you're, whatever. And I guess people could say that's what it is for this, but too many people are now safe.
Okay, well, to answer your other question, you're not going to like it, and you're not surprised. Like, you're not expecting them to get rid of an end-of-season tournament. They've already realized, with how much money FedEx, paid them for it, that there's just an opportunity to title something and make money. There's a money-making opportunity here. So it's not going to go away. But the ultimate reason it's not going to go away, and this is something that the new guy, the football guy, is all for, and he had some rude awakenings discovering how the golf landscape works, is the PGA Tour wants to own something that's like important. And they have the players. That's the one thing that they have. And yeah, they have their events, but they don't own the majors and they don't own the Ryder Cup. So in their ever dying quest to like own properties that matter, the new guy is really gonna, I'm excited because I think he's really gonna try to like create an awesome scenario that involves guys going home.
I hope so. Or they just buy the PGA Championship from the PGA of America and just run that as their major. Well, yeah, because the hardest part about this is you can't manufacture it. The difference between this, and even the players suffered this for a very long time, but why the Ryder Cup continues to persevere, where the President's Cup doesn't, is that these guys care about winning these things. They care about winning majors. They care about winning the Ryder Cup. I'm not saying that people go to a golf tournament, they don't care whether they win or not. But when they think about it in terms of legacy, whatever it might be, it is important for them to win those tournaments and they act accordingly. It is not important for anyone to win the FedEx Cup, ever. It is never has been. And great players have won it, and it still doesn't matter.
Listen, you know who gets the most fired up during FedEx Cup? The wives. It is wife season. It is I guess every week's a handbag on this tour. 40th place plays pretty good, especially this time of year. But yeah, you're right. I mean, even to these guys putting a picture, shaking Jack's hand with Jack Barbara, their kids, their wife, like holding the memorial trophies means more than winning a FedEx Cup event.
You just had to ask me. You just had to ask me how many times Rory won the FedEx Cup. Would you ever have to ask me how many times Rory won the Masters?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. You knew though. You did know.
Yeah, well, I do cover this stuff, and I have a pretty good memory. I can tell you. I could probably tell you the three guys I bet on those weeks when Rory won.
Oh, I had the Ryan Moore one, man.
I had Moore. I had Kevin Na, but I think that
was FedEx Cup. I don't think Moore could have won the FedEx, but he could have won
East Lake.
East Lake.
Yeah, I had him at East Lake. I had the year that Cantlay won. I think I had Kevin Na, who tied for like lowest combined score of that week because he was trending at that time. And I think Rahm and Cantlay both split it with him. But then Cantlay ended up winning the FedEx Cup. Anyway, probably talked enough about the FedEx Cup. You wanted to talk about Rahm and LIV, didn't you?
No, I just think there's we were trying to figure out, we're on a clock today. We both got lives. We're just trying to figure out, how long the show might actually be. And I sort of thought there's nothing really to talk about other than the Rahm LIV thing, but I don't think there's anything to talk about. Well, no one with half a brain is surprised Rahm isn't going to stick around for that thing.
Is anyone?
He's not going to put good money. He's not going to throw
dead money.
I don't know what the money, good money after bad or bad money after good, but he's just going to pull shoot. Did he lose out on a deal? Yeah. Is he going to be able to win an event, get into the Siggies and just live the life again? Yeah, of course. I don't even know what there is to talk about.
Well, he probably won't play on the PGA Tour next year. I'm guessing he's going to play a full DP World Tour schedule because I watched a bunch of the Denmark tournament this weekend. Bubba Watson was in the mix. So if Bubba Watson is playing in Denmark, he was the one guy I never really, I get why he went to LIV for the money, but remember all the stories about Bubba and him being so out of place during Open Championships, like being in England was breaking his brain because it wasn't America. He seemed like the weirdest guy ever to go to LIV, and now he's forced to play in these European tournaments.
How old is Bubba?
50, maybe.
Maybe so he could go to.
He's 47. He's
not going to let these guys go to Champions Tour. Doesn't the Champions Tour need Bubba? Need Westwood? Need Poulter? Doesn't that tour need that? Wouldn't that be just good to watch at 6:00 when golf's done for the day? See those guys with the other guys.
Yeah, and I think they will allow that. He's only 47 though, as it turns out. He's the same age as Justin Rose.
It would be just. What a total travesty if American-based Ian Poulter cannot play on the Champions Tour. Forget all, whatever they said. Who cares? You get in fights with a boss, an ex-boss, an ex-company all the time. At some point, move on. I think the other guys, your Varners, your Answers, your players, they can't be given the championship. The PGA Tour is not the Champions Tour. As far as I'm concerned, those guys have met the requirements. The seniors, everyone on LIV, from Louis, all those guys, they've all met the requirements to walk onto the Champions Tour. Abe Answer has not met the requirements, as far as I'm concerned, to walk back onto the PGA Tour. I expect him to get there, but he's got to earn it a bit.
If Abe Answer wants to come on the show and talk, I would love to have Abe Answer on. He's been a favorite of mine for ages. I want to see what do you think these guys, in the new iteration of LIV with this funding or loan that they got, how many of these guys do you actually think stick around? Or do they just go play DP next year and they go play DP and then they can work their way back to the PGA Tour?
With all due respect, I am not the smartest person here in this room, let alone watching this thing.
Aren't you in a room by yourself?
Yeah, I meant the room, this chat room, this call. I am by myself. I don't understand. A league that had $6 billion 6 years ago, or went through $6 billion. What is $250 million?
Bryson gets paid. Bryson gets made whole on his deal, whatever it is. I could see, I think the range of outcomes for what LIV 2.0 is going to be, I could see it being a Bryson DeChambeau YouTube tour.
That sounds smarter than actual real golf.
I agree. If it was my $250 million and Bryson was on board, that's what I'd do. and they can play against
Okay.
you and Cust.
Sure. Yeah. I guess that actually sounds smarter than that. Seems like it has more legs than like an actual fully functioning tour that has to facilitate like a whole property's worth of golf and cameras.
But they have an event this week. LIV Indy is happening this week. The team competition has been canceled in Michigan, I think, but they're still selling tickets for it.
I look though, the sports books that usually have the odds like yesterday didn't have them.
Oh, Bryson and Neiman 7.5 to 1, and Rahm 8 to 1. Does Rahm win the last LIV event just going out on top? Because this is really the last LIV event for the V1.0 LIV as we knew it. This is it. I'm pretty sure. Caleb Surratt's playing too.
If they're smart, they'll play some like Sarah McLachlan animal shelter commercials.
I don't think they have the money left for that.
Right? That we got watching TV after school our whole lives. One more thing, and I've made this complaint like lots of times over the years, so it's like not a new one. And I don't really know the answer per se, but this is a complaint I had regularly as it pertained to the PGA Tour and their Monday Night Raw schedule, and that you just wish the golf world at times can like work together. And that is like to play your first playoff event at TPC Swamp Ass versus a US Am at Marion. Like, I just feel the bodies they're all independent, but I wish there was just more cohesion in the golf space. And this is unrelated to LIV. This is a problem that existed before LIV. And I said this before when like the ladies US Open is happening. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, but here's the whole thing here. They need to accommodate around the PGA Tour. This would be like golf getting upset that the NFL plays on Sunday. It's like, well, couldn't you just give us a week?
So you're saying it's like when I'm like, I do like the CFL and I love the CFL, but it's airborne pigskin and no other balls
when they run the
air.
Grey Cup on Sunday night against Sunday Night Football. It's like, geez, I wonder which one I'm going to watch.
I would watch this semifinal playoff game if you played it on Saturday, but you've put it Sunday at 3:30, and now I will just not watch it.
Correct. So the FedEx Cup playoffs ends in 3 weeks. Why not just have the USAM then?
Again, I'm not like just blaming the PGA Tour.
It's not they need to work. The PGA Tour is the cash cow. It is the moneymaker. It's not taking off weeks. It's what people want to watch. Any other golf event, regardless of tour, needs to work their way around that because that's not going anywhere. If you want eyeballs on the USAM, hold it during a week where golf's not. It'd be one thing if this happened in May and there just clearly was no week for golf to take off. Golf is ending in 2 weeks.
So you make a fair counterpoint, and I'm not blaming like the high level here. I understand it. Like Wyndham wants to pay you to host a tournament. FedEx is paying you to host a tournament. BMW is paying you to host a tournament. CBS and NBC want to pay you to show your tournaments, even if it's the John Deere. There's a sponsor named John Deere, a company like that, and there's a network like CBS. You don't think we're going to find a place to do that? Even if you guys don't like the field? If you don't want to watch, don't watch. We'll be back next week with something else. I get it. And yeah, you probably have the answer in that you do have to work around, and you should pick on the lower tiers. Like I would get mad at LIV. Like you're running versus Bay Hill. The bandwidth, golf is a beloved sport. It's beloved, and people's interest in it is so beyond the pro game. Almost no other sport has what it has. But the bandwidth for like golf fans and watching golf is only like so big. And sometimes I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I just wish that there was a working together more. And you're right, it's not maybe on the PGA Tour for that.
Yeah, why does the PGA Tour care to help out the USGA? And honestly,
there's an obvious answer there, Pat.
Well, let's take an example where they said, okay, we are not running the FedEx St.Jude Championship this week. We will have a bye week because the USAM is this week. How many fucking people do you think are watching the USAM?
A lot of people.
No.
Golf is just on.
People aren't tuning in. Jared, were you watching?
No, it's
Jared
not
wouldn't
enough for
even
me.
known it's on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but you know what?
exactly.
Do you know that people know what is on? The PGA Tour.
Okay, well, here's the thing. This is there's like a disconnect. And I this is not to like insult any. This is just even to say there's no insults here at all. A lot of people are like they fell in love with golf like through gambling. Like gambling was their entry to golf. Gambling was like a side thing for golf. I like am a golf fan, and I think a lot of golf fans would if they saw that the US Amazon at Marion, they'd leave it on. Now, how long would it hold their attention? I don't know. That's a tough one.
I think you're
just such a
vastly overestimating this.
No, I'm not thinking it would pull a PGA number. And
But
yeah,
would
maybe
you,
they've got.
Do you think it would pull 1/10 of a PGA number?
Do I think it would pull 1/10 of a PGA number on network TV
Yeah.
Sunday at like dinner time?
Yeah.
At a place like Marion, yeah, or Pebble, like at these beautiful courses? I do.
Okay, I don't, but that's me. I've been known to be wrong in the past. People have
No,
seen
I'm
who
not.
I bet
I'm not.
every
This is
week.
not a hill I'm dying on. This is not like a hill I would be willing to die on. I wouldn't even know that I'd bet because I don't have the information.
We'll fire it up on Underdog Predicts. We'll throw it out there. This is what these prediction markets are for, right? To settle these sorts of bets.
I just want to say I've made this complaint to you about like the ladies U.S. Open,
Which
so it's
again,
not
no one
this
cares
week.
about. Like
No, I'm
we
just
we
saying-
live in an echo chamber of online people who like golf. Of course they're gonna watch the women's US Open. You know, it's not my dad.
Yeah, of course. I understand that. I just wish like the world of golf would work. See, people like Liv Hardos are gonna be like, you fucking hypocrite. I wish
But
the world
I
would-
think LIV is the prime example of this. Like LIV was very clearly the second best tour in the world, and legitimately no one cared.
well, there's reasons for that.
But I don't think those are the only reasons. Like, it's not like the product was awful. It was a bit jarring to tune into it, but I actually preferred their coverage of golf to the PGA Tour's coverage that we get on Sunday. The TV product was fine. It was hard to find, but in some circumstances where they were either unopposed or there was a weather delay with the PGA Tour and they were on network, it's not like people were like, man, I need my golf fix. Let me tune on LIV. That didn't happen.
I agree. And the PGA Tour has the institutional infrastructure that, like, to a lot of boomers, it's literally just it's just there. It's like a wet blanket. And I don't mean that although some rounds could feel like wet blankets, I mean that in like a positive way. Just like, you know, the boomers know 60 Minutes is on at 7. Like, it's just, they know golf. It's just on.
Few more notes before we get to BMW. Did you see Matt Fitzpatrick's umbrella for the Heat? His Heat umbrella?
Yeah, I don't.
He's a fair-skinned
Listen,
fella.
sometimes I'm out there. I wish I had an umbrella.
There's a guy at our course who always has his umbrella with him. You know what? He has good skin, so I can't really fault him. Plays real slow.
You know, I would burn. I burn quick, so I don't know. I mean, you see Matthew Fitzpatrick. What do you think he looks like without his shirt on?
Sherman.
I know, because I'm like the same tone. It's a fucking ghost. Now, granted, he's wearing a shirt out there, but yeah. Listen, I don't know. People calling it soft. I'm not. I don't know.
Listen.
I'm sort of neutral on it.
Here's the thing. No one gets away with calling anyone soft in fucking professional golf. They're all soft. They're professional golfers.
They're wearing pants.
This is what I'm talking about.
They're wearing pants. No, that's crazy that they are not allowed to wear shorts.
I will say, I'm with you. It does seem crazy that they're not allowed to wear shorts. When you see a professional competition, or even those amateur competitions, and people are wearing shorts, it looks hack. Like they look like professionals wearing pants. I will give them the aesthetics that we were talking about earlier. The pants really do complete the look. You look just even those like old Tiger clips where he's wearing the sun hat and the shorts. He looks worse than he does when he's wearing pants. It's like no different than those Twitter videos that turn Tua around and then it makes it look like Tua's throwing right-handed and he looks way better. It's the same deal.
No, I agree. The aesthetic is unmatched of the pants. especially when you see them in the shorts. It can be unsettling. I feel like we'd get used to it pretty quickly, but maybe they could just you do like a FIFA and like the temperature hits a thing. It's like hydration break. Like we'll now change
Shorts
into our
break.
shorts, and it can be like an ad break.
Well, they have enough ad break. I don't think they need more excuses for ad breaks. So we had some fun. I just want to give a shout out to this new course in Denmark that's on some resort. It looked fucking awesome. And it was a super fun tournament to watch. As I told you, I was up at 4 a.m. with the baby, and both my kids woke up throughout the course of the night. So I was just up. I got like 5 hours of Denmark in me. Fun leaderboard coming down the stretch. Some fun names of guys that like I know, but I couldn't pick out of a lineup. Like Elvis Gerbach, the Edgar Winther band ended up winning. The My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell, was on the leaderboard. Who Shot JR from Germany? He was up there. But Winther ended up... Rasmus chips in for eagle and starts making a run way too late. Then Winther follows it up with an eagle, and it was game over. It was fun. Some 19-year-old or 18-year-old Chinese guy almost won. It was a fun tournament. Water everywhere.
I actually turned that on a minute before Rasmus made eagle, then the other guy made an eagle. That was what I saw.
Langask was,
I watched a great 5 minutes.
Langask was in the lead. He blew up early, and then he really was the gas can. He blew up and went terrible. Then he blew up and got hot again. But if you get a chance to go see it, I think that the DP World Tour threw it out as a clip. It was so windy. He was hitting these like chip shot drives that were, I've never seen anything like it. It was incredible.
Like just this like little backswings? What do you mean?
Yeah, it was just, you have to see it. And you're just like, and then you'd watch the ball come off the face and like the trajectory. It was like, yeah, well, what a smart shot if you can do this in the wind. But obviously he didn't win, so it didn't work out. I can't remember if it was him or the other Frenchman, Rosner. One of them bladed it out of the bunker on like 15 into the water on the other side and then left their chip short of the green. It was like, oh, this is rough to watch, rough stuff here. It's like, I do that. That's what I do. As people will see in that golf video that we released. I tried to convince Jared to take out me blading my first wedge of the day 40 yards over the green, but he did not. It's in there.
It's got to be. Got to see all shots.
Got to see all the. You don't have to see all the shots. Eventually, it's going to get too long.
You got to see all the shots.
Let's see.
It's got to be done.
I don't know. Might have to like, I don't know, pack a little extra. Spread out a barter with Jared after the round.
BMW Championship.
Put something in Jared's pocket, like that wedge on 7. Just please.
Well,
tell Pat you forgot about it.
I hear you have extra golf shoes, Geoff. I'll take that, buddy.
I'll be packing light, but if you ever can, I got I'll talk to you offline. Because I don't know. Could be doing a fall cleanup here soon anyway. So you can be the lucky winner, Jared.
Love it.
I've bought a ton of stuff from Wayfair over the years, and one of the biggest upgrades for us has been outdoor furniture. We needed something that could handle real life, kids, weather, people constantly being over here and using it, but without spending a fortune. Wayfair made that easy to find, that special something that fit our space, the style, and our budget. And now you can shop with Wayfair Verified, where product specialists use a 10-point quality inspection to hand vet pieces for things like materials, functionality, features, and even how long they take to build. Plus, there are more than 20 million verified 5-star reviews with real customer photos so you can actually see what you're getting before you buy it. Join Wayfair Rewards today to get 5% back on every purchase and start saving on your next home upgrade. Head to wayfair.com to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home. My relationship with money has most certainly changed over the years. When I was younger, it was basically make money, spend money. Hopefully there's enough left over, and even if there wasn't, we'll figure that out. That's a problem for future Pat Mayo to deal with. But now, with a family, business, investments, a million different expenses, I actually do want to know where everything is going. That's where Monarch has really helped me out. It puts your accounts, investment, spending, and saving goals all in one place so you can actually see the entire financial picture. And I really like the AI assistant. You can ask specific questions about your own finances instead of digging through months of transactions for yourself. Write your own money story with Monarch. Use code PATMAYO at monarch.com to get your first year of Monarch Core half off, just $50. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code PATMAYO. If you've been sitting on a business idea forever, at some point, you just got to start. Shopify removes a lot of the excuses because everything you need to start selling is already there from day one. And when you finally get that first customer, Spotify checkout makes it easy for them to actually finish the purchase. Returning customers can have their details saved. So it's basically one tap and they're done. Shopify handles all the setup and checkout, giving you more time to focus on actually growing the business. I know from my perspective, having people and having systems like Shopify to help me out really saves me a ton of time so I can actually focus on the content, the actual business. And that can be the same case for you too. With Shopify, nothing stands between your idea and a real business. So go make one. Start your free trial at shopify.com/PatMayo. Start your free trial at shopify.com/PatMayo. You put in the work. It's time to get paid like it. Free trial at shopify.com/PatMayo. BMW Championship from Bellerive, where Brooks Koepka won the 2018 PGA Championship. That is not what is remembered from that tournament. I have one lasting memory from that tournament, Jeff, and I bet you it's the same as everyone else's.
Yeah, Tiger, the fans, Tiger walking that bridge.
Yeah.
Even Brooks's wife and Tiger. Like all time, it's all about Tiger.
Tiger came second. Woodland was like very much in the mix of that tournament the entire time. It made some renovations to the course. All of the greens in 2019 were dug up from the ground and replaced. So the same dimensions exist, but it's now T1 bent grass. There's zoysia grass everywhere. There's new drainage on the course. And some of the holes have been lengthened, 6 of them to be exact. So there's an extra 130 yards. The fairways are pretty generous, but they slope. And they slope towards the bunkers, the rough, everything like that. But I think they're like 35 yards wide that you're going to want to, it's a very long course. It's over 7,400 yards as a par 70. One of the notes from BetSportsGolf.com, Ron put out that in 2018, players only hit greens 42% of the time from the rough compared to 80% from the fairway. So if you can find those bombers that hit some fairways, they are going to roll this week at Bellerive. So good week for Scottie Scheffler, who's the betting favorite at 3-1. Shout out Coolbet, coolbet.com if you're in Canada. Outside of Ontario or Alberta, hit the description. Boom, you got yourself a bonus. Plus 320, actually. There's the real-time number on Scottie Scheffler. Rory's 15-1. Tommy and Fleetwood are both 17-1. Burns and Ludwig are...
Who's and Fleetwood?
What's that?
You said Tommy and Fleetwood.
Oh, sorry, Xander and Fleetwood. And now, yeah, Sam Burns has been crushed to 15. He's as high as 20 in some spots still, but that's going to be going because I'm guessing people are going to... We didn't talk about Sam Burns, but like he ejected from Sunday far quicker than usual.
I mean, what a season. I guess Sam Burns would probably be the guy.
No, the answer is Siwoo to your question.
Yeah, so both on the short list. And then there was that moment before all of like the decent named chasers. I mean, no one was catching Scottie. But there was a moment in that, Pat, where like Scottie was winning, and then like the next 4 or 5 guys on the leaderboard were all players, like as we spoke about, like guys who just had really strong years. Siwoo, Burns,
Clark got her up, or was up there for a while.
Got her up. Even Victor, like for how well he'd been playing like the last month, was there. I want to say like Tom Kim. Like it was just the guys as you would
and Fitz,
the guys you thought might like who have been playing well and should continue to play well. There were no real surprises. Obviously, as Sunday went on, guys, fell back, and your Norins and other guys sort of popped up a bit. But yeah, there are no real surprises at all. And I'm just sort of here to think like it's such a finite number. Only 50 guys here, but I don't know. I'd be looking at like 8 of them.
I bet
there's so many guys under 20-1 this week.
Yeah, would you go back? Who's having the better year without the win, Burns or Siwoo?
I would say Burns, just because of the late tee times in huge events.
Yeah, I think I would side with that as well. I think overall results wise, it's probably Siwoo. Siwoo's up to 13th in the world. It's the highest.
And then low pro because like it's well documented the thumb injury. Jake Knapp would be like the next tier, like best player, full stop. And maybe you have him in like Siwoo's like tier.
I don't. Because
I don't either. That's why I said next. But if someone wanted to, like, whatever. It's like his season is just insane.
Yeah. Would you bet Jake? I mean, I'm not going to bet Scottie at just over 3-1. I mean, I don't know what to make of Rory. I mean, if Rory just hits his driver well this week, it's a great Rory course.
I think Rory is potentially now. I don't think I'll be betting this thing very hard at all. There's a couple things I know I think I want to do, and we'll get there very shortly.
Well, I just want
But
to.
you could make the case that like I'm just betting Rory. Like you're only trying to find a win. You're trying to find someone who, like, if they're playing well and Scottie's playing well, like, could they beat Scottie? Like in chasing the dragon, I don't hate Rory. I actually might think the number could get bigger and we could keep talking about it.
I bet Wyndham Clark 35-1.
Yeah.
Big fairways, Zoysa up. We're back on bent. He can putt on bent. Let's go. I thought it was a bit of a disrespectful number for a guy who's won twice this year. And I get that his variance is very high and low. Like he has the ceiling, he has the bottom, and you feel like such a goober when you bet him and he's like dead last in a tournament. But he is one of the few guys from this range. Like he's the same odds as fucking Maverick McNeely.
So player of the year.
Yeah, Open champion of the year, Maverick McNeely, as predicted by Cust. Knapp would be on that list. Kitayama would be on that list. I don't know if I'm going to get to those guys. I'll probably bet
Kitty's a bit lower, despite like I don't think he's.
I'll bet Woodland is first round leader. He was first round leader here at a major. Let's run it back. But other than that, like I don't like Xander, Burns, Cam Young. Like I can get behind. I'll end up picking one of these guys to end up betting. I think that's the tier where I'd want to start. Even Goddard to a certain extent, although he hasn't won one of these big boy fields as of yet. But I do want to have a quick thing with a thought that went through my head when Victor Hovland was tied for the lead on Saturday with Scottie Scheffler at the St. Jude. I was like, if there's anyone who's going to run down Scheffler, it's going to be Victor. I don't think he cares or even knows who he's playing, like in another group. He's just kind of in his own world. This is perfect for him. And I tuned back, went for a walk with my baby, came back 20 minutes later. He was like 7 back of Scheffler. What the fuck happened here? It was awful.
Yeah, I was feeling smart for a couple minutes also. Because someone chirped me at my golf club that I bet Victor every week. And I'm like, listen, why do I bet Victor every week? Because he's 40-1. And if Victor's playing well, I actually would trust him to hang with Scottie. Like Victor at his ceiling.
And Victor beat Scottie in a playoff from behind earlier, like 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, but that's like, so that is my logic. It's pretty simple. This is almost the same point I just made with Rory. It's like Victor's a winner. At 4-1, I mean, if flirting with those 40s last week, I'd do that every time. That was humbling. I had a pretty small card last week. Ludwig was also on it. I can't really speak to the Saturday. It's just these moments of just such unseriousness. And it just seems like things carry over sometimes when it doesn't go his way. On Friday, I don't know that Scottie shot like the insane round. I think in terms of proximity to pin, Ludwig played just as great, almost as good. He just could not score. He just couldn't score, and he made a double. I don't know that there couldn't have been 3 players in the field last week that had 10 footers or less for birdie more often than Ludwig. The joke's on me. The joke's on me, but I'm making that bet. 9th at the Open, 7th at St. Jude. You did your spiel at the start. Like guys who can hit it long and straight are going to be in a great spot here. His tee to green is outstanding. The putting is just so off. It's more off than it's on right now. That's the concern. I don't know if he's serious enough to be working on it at the moment, but that's my bet. 20. Lud.
So Ludwig at 20. Will Haskett put it best. I very much enjoyed this when I saw it. He's like, that 1 week a year when your course's greens run 11 plus on the stimp, and then the superintendent puts the holes in the really tough locations, and then everyone scores really terribly except for like the 1 or 2 guys at your club who were awesome. That was basically Scheffler yesterday.
Yeah, I can give you that.
Just everyone else is blowing up. Scottie's like, "This is pretty easy out here. This is great."
Yep.
Listen, I see Cam Young at 21-1. I don't hate that.
I don't mind that either.
I would. Ludwig being still priced above Cam Young should set off some red flags here. Like, what the fuck what are we doing?
I don't know. Cam's last month has been horrible.
Cam Young had a chance to win in Detroit. I mean, he's played. So we the fact that his last month has been horrible because he played golf.
Yeah, but even before that, it wasn't great. I'm not arguing.
The guy should have won the Open Championship. You just brought up Ludwig winning like, oh, he's the top 20 at the Open Championship. Cam Young should have won the Open Championship. He came second.
Yeah, I might be betting my cards with Ludwig and Cam Young. So like, you're not going to get me to get in this argument where I'm picking on Cam Young.
But just to look at the board.
There's very few players who have the skill set that can win here this week. Ludwig is one of them. He's off a good week. He was 30. He was like, there were 30s last week.
Yes, there should have been.
There were 30. Yeah, exactly.
Should have been 100s.
So it's not.
I would have bet it at 100.
I'm sure you would. You'd have bet it at 33. So shut up.
That is untrue.
You said it on the show last week.
No. Said
you
40.
Did. Find that shit, Jared. Go in the transcript. Find it.
You think that Jared's going to do that to me, the guy who pays him?
I don't know. He got your wedge on one.
Yeah, it was good content.
I would rather Jared clip my bad golf pick than my wedge on one.
Yeah, it was bad. After a big drive, too. It was very embarrassing. Has that ever happened to you? I'm sure it's happened.
I don't hit it as far as you.
No,
so
but it's all relative to how you hit it, right?
Yeah, your drive of the day, your drive of the week, your drive of the summer.
Yeah,
I think I hit that far enough where I'm now going for it in two, and then plop.
Yeah,
I mean, we've all been there. Sure. Even playing with like my nephew, like we'll play from much forward tees, so I'm hitting different clubs, and yeah. That one felt far.
What about the Brennan Thorbjornsen tier?
Thought about that also because we've seen the carryover. We had the conversation last week that we were sort of identifying the previous St. Jude winners, and they all seem to just have had great seasons. The FedEx Cup winners, outside of one or two, there's guys aren't finding their games who didn't have it like all summer at the FedEx Cup. I think history has shown that, correct?
Yeah, and guys who tend to get hot over the summer and as you just mentioned, when you looked at the leaderboard on Sunday, it was all the guys have been playing really well over the last 6 weeks, basically.
And I'll be honest, I looked at who bet them. Sky, who him and Baroff, I think I like are better at this outright thing than most. He had both of them last week, which made me kind of nervous. Just trying to run that back, but I got no beef there. I think there's money to be made. I don't know what stepping away for a moment, I don't think I'm going to bet big this week, but if I do, it's going to be in like ancillary stuff. Like my outrights, I don't feel confident. B, really want to step in front of like Scheffler at a perfect course fit. But I think there's money to be made on guys like Brennan and Thorbjornsen in like ancillary markets.
Yeah, normally you'd say Minwoo, but he's just been a disaster lately.
He was
Southwind.
He was like 5 under quickly on whatever. Yeah, guys come and go here. There's a lot of hazards. I'm not going to pick on a guy.
Last year when I showed up to the course a little bit late on Sunday, he was walking off the course, so I saw him in the players area because he had to play by himself because he was in dead last. He played in like 2 hours. He's like, "Get me out of here."
I'll be honest. I have not really like even scrolled to that board. I mean, I don't trust anyone.
So here's what I'm doing: quick picks for the BMW Championship. Cam Young, I'm seeing 21. I'll bet the 21. If I see something bigger, I'll bet that. Wyndham Clark, I've already bet at 35-1. I'm going to give a look to this Knapp, Kitayama, Thorbjornsen, Brennan type area, maybe one of those guys. That's where I'm going to go this week.
I mean,
and I'll bet Rahm at 8-1 for LIV Indy as a one last hurrah for John Rahm.
I'm not going to have anything profound here, but Ludwig 20, Cam Young, 20, 22, wherever it falls. And I don't know if I get expensive, I'm just going to add Victor.
Okay. I will consider Sam Burns again.
What about Knapp?
I said Knapp as a part of that like Kitayama, Knapp, Thorbjornsen, Brennan, like one of those guys. I don't know if Knapp's got it in him to win a tournament this big, honestly.
Knapp actually, I think, has one of the greatest. Well, no, I got to take that back because he suffered some tragedy in this past year.
So let's not say that.
Well, I was going to say, like, the life of Jake Knapp
seems pretty good from the outside looking in. But you never know what
yeah,
people are
like
dealing
just
with.
this. He doesn't seem to carry any of, like, at least from the outside, there's no pressure on him to win like other guys who have great seasons. He wasn't like a super highly touted prospect. He just comes like T11 every single freaking week. He can dominate. He can bully golf courses at times. I mean, what an existence. What a, but hey, life is from the outside, could look perfect, but as we know, like his girlfriend tragically passed away last year, and what a horrible story that was. So hopefully he's finding peace on the golf course because it's been a shaky one and a thumb injury. Can you imagine a guy like that, built like that, being held down by a thumb? Oh, feel for him. Playing great. Love it. One of my favorite. Him and like Michael Kim. I guess Kim did it last year too. So he's not like as much of a thing anymore.
One and done picks for the week. You have one chance to beat me. You need the winner this week. Cust is taking Morikawa, but he is eliminated from winning. He's too far back.
I don't know who I've used.
I have it in front of me.
Have you used Sam Burns?
Yes, you used him at the Canadian Open.
He played well.
You did. He got you $920,000.
Have I used Cam Young?
I'm going to guess yes, but let's see. Huh, no.
Because I saved guys forever, and then I just don't even know who I have now.
Yeah, you have not used Cam Young.
Exactly.
Maybe have I used Cam Young? I don't think I have. Wow. That could have been one. Oh, no, I did. I used him at the PGA Championship.
Well, you would have had because you had Burns last week, so you'd have gotten the pick, and I'd have been dead.
Yeah.
Okay, Cam Young.
I got to try to figure out who I haven't used here.
So bad.
Have I used?
We've been doing this over a decade. I am, unlike golf Twitter, I am definitely in the 0.01 worst percentile of one and done performers. Like, we get to do this thing because it's like head to head. Tim's in it too. So it's like three people. Sure, I can like hang around. Maybe it seems like I'm doing okay. I've never done worse in any pool in my life that I'm in at this amount of years than one and done golf.
I'll be
back in next year. Can't wait to play. You run a great contest.
I'll take Fleetwood. I haven't used Fleetwood. This is the last week. Last big money prize pool. This is it. For the real competitions. I'm just almost 2 million up on you, and everyone gets paid. So I'm going to get some money either way. And
this year's Fleetwood is going to be Burns or
no,
Siwoo.
Siwoo. I think Siwoo wins at Eastlake.
Oh, that's so good. I want that to happen. In the same way I was cheering for Fleetwood to do it because the system is so stupid that like I mock it. Obviously, I was happy for Tommy to win, even though, it wasn't a real tournament. I want the result that is sort of like the funniest and kind of most polarizingly embarrassing result for your champion of the year.
Yeah. If you're going to bet next week, we'll do a show. It'll probably be somewhat abbreviated. Maybe we'll give out we should probably wait to do our player of the year type stuff in case something changes with the FedEx Cup. But Siwoo and Burns have to be the bets for Eastlake.
Absolutely. And I guess in many ways, this was like the last real golf show of the year. We'll do one next week. I don't know how long that will possibly be. And then the President's Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, let's end on this because got to go. I counted. I shouldn't even have said that. 50 players this week. How many International President's Cup members are here? Don't look.
I'm not looking.
Yeah.
Tom Kim, Hideki, Ryan Fox, Nico Echeverria, Minwoo Lee, Adam Scott, Sungjae.
There's two more that I'm pretty sure I count.
Tom Kim.
And he's here, so I'm counting.
I said Tom Kim already?
Pretty sure I said Tom Kim. First one, I think.
Oh. And I said Hideki. Ryo Hitsatsune.
Yeah, I had 9, which is more. If you'd have said to me this morning, Fienberg, how many International Presidents Cup players have made it here, and you said the over/under is 8.5, I'd have been like stone cold under.
Or eligible players. Let's see. Siwoo. And then you got to go down to Hideki, who's in 16th. Minwoo. Ryan Fox. Tom Kim. Adam Scott. Nico Echeverria. Ryo Hitsatsune. That's it. There's 8.
Ryan Fox.
I said Ryan Fox. There's 8 of them here. One of the countries you're counting might not be international. It might be Europe.
Nico Fox. Hitsatsune. Minwoo Scott. We're at 5.
And then the 3 Koreans.
3 Koreans and Hideki.
Oh, you didn't say? I guess. Okay, I guess it is 9. Siwoo. This doesn't matter.
It doesn't. To my point being is we're about a month when you can make the bet. I was going to re-up on my bet, and I actually got a little scared.
Why?
Not that I think they can lose, but I didn't think that this amount of the team would still be here.
Can't wait for the first round matchup of Nico Echeverria and Ryo Hitsatsune against Goddard and Scheffler.
Either way, I was surprised that it's not. I was surprised 9 were here. That's all. That's all I'm taking. That's the only point. And hardos of the show. No, we can't get through that. We can't get through a show this time of year without it being mentioned. So there, I mentioned it for all my biggest fans and haters.
The next 3 international team players who could be on the team, and I'll miss the FedEx Cup playoffs in order, are Yella Miraju, Corey Connors, and Nick Taylor, the 3 Canadians.
Tough. It was like the amount of T10s for like a really tough year. It was a really tough year. Pendrith, tough year. Yalamaraju was the Canadian golfer of the year.
Brooke Henderson's probably the Canadian golfer of the
year. Yeah. Brooke had a run. Brooke had a better run
or that guy at the Canadian Open who made like 7 birdies in a row. Matt Anderson, Mr. Anderson. All right, I gotta go.
Yeah, I'll see you later in the week, friends.
Yes, you will be out here. If you're in the area and want to hang with Jeff, me, and Cust and hold a phone as a camera the entire time, are you in luck? MayoMediaInc@gmail.com. Hit me up or on Instagram at the PME would be the 2 easiest ways to get in touch with me. I hope to hear from someone from it. And if you're watching this after Wednesday, I'll have found someone by Wednesday to do it either way, so don't bother after that. But thank you for your interest in the subject matter. G. Fienberg, 17. Jeff will be here. We're doing that. We're doing win totals for both AFC and NFC at Cust Corner. The Custies are already filmed. We got a ton of content coming out. Football the rest of the way until Keith on Tuesday evening, okay? I'll see you next time.
Mayo Experience! Experience!